Hi gamers, Maniac here with GameAccess.net, and after a heavy response I was getting yesterday for streaming Alan Wake. In fact, actually, I got a comment yesterday after I archived Alan Wake Act 1, or my Let's Play of it from yesterday. More people were like, if you're streaming this game, we want to watch it live, and so I was taken aback by this because usually when I'm streaming, it's usually just me and Kajar and Shishibel. But no, you guys are welcome to join the stream. I try to stream. I have two streaming channels, and right now I've decided that I'm going to do all Xbox One streaming on my Beam channel and all PS4 streaming on my Twitch channel. This has to do with the fact that the Xbox One's Twitch capabilities when it comes to streaming has been historically for the last year terrible, whereas its Beam streaming is good, and the fact that the PlayStation 4 platform doesn't Beam stream, but its Switch streaming is just fine. So it's going to stay that way for a while. Both services have their own pluses and minuses, but for right now, it just looks like that's going to be the near term. Now, I say that because I have a lot of requests for different games on both the PS4 and the Xbox One. Particularly, I've been getting a lot of requests recently to resume streaming of Uncharted 4. Fine, you guys got it. I will stream the rest of Uncharted 4. You can take that to the bank. So what's probably going to happen is that I've noticed when I've been streaming, especially when I've been streaming longer games like Final Fantasy X, or even when I was streaming all the games of the Uncharted trilogy, after a while for me, I start losing enthusiasm as I'm trying to get through the game, and eventually it becomes a slog. But I have noticed that as I'm switching back and forth to new games, or if I'm streaming two games at once, like I'll do one game one day and I'll do another, if I could do another game the next day, my enthusiasm returns and it becomes easier to do. So my thinking is at least for the rest of the week, I may do Alan Wake one day and then Uncharted 4 the next day, and then kind of rotate basically. I'm going to try to keep each stream to, at least for each part of the stream, under 2 hours, but I'm already into the 2-minute mark on this stream according to my counter here. So what do you say we get going? There's one thing I want to just say for anybody that might have watched part 1 and you're watching part 2 now. I want to talk about the clicker that was kind of revealed at the end of part 1. There's a lot of history about the clicker. Now, as you guys know, that this game was written by Sam Lake, who's the original face of Max Payne. He wrote Max Payne 1, he wrote Max Payne 2, he wrote Alan Wake. The clicker is actually based on his childhood. He actually did have a clicker. He was afraid of that. Story that Alan told Alice is a true story. It's Sam Lake's story, and I find that is so exciting to hear. Sam has admitted that on several interviews. So I just want to give you guys a bit of background, because this Let's Play is more than just us, me playing the game or me making jokes. This is also trivia for the game. So with that all having been said, let's get right back and pick right back up where we left off. The load times for this version of the game are very fast, so there's not much. I usually will say stuff during load times, but in this case, yeah, that's not going to really be happening.
If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Yep.
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wade?
My father's words coming out of this
really
man's mouth.
I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your
Okay,
word
this
for
computer
it,
is extremely out of date. All right, I think the guy's done. Sorry about talking over him a little bit, but I kind of want to get going. I noticed that I must have spent at least, it felt like an hour, but I think by my count it was about 45 minutes of me just kind of screwing around with it. Oh, look at this computer. Dual disk drives. It looks like it's using 5 1/4. Oh boy. You see, this is a testament to you police agencies. Upgrade your equipment. God knows how much longer that computer is going to last.
I believe you'll find the sheriff
Or even
in
if
her
it
office.
doesn't,
Just
the
go
the
down
disk
corridor.
drives. Let me rephrase. It's not the disk drives themselves, but the disks. The computer itself might keep working for a bit longer than modern computers, but I can't imagine those 5 1/4 drives are lasting much longer than they do these days. All right. I'm pretty certain these are pictures of guys from... oh, yeah, no, this is the guy who won a contest. I take that back. Some of these other pictures, I think, are actual staff from Remedy, but this particular guy won a contest. And he is immortalized in this game, so that's awesome. I can't think of this guy being the first person in history that actually won a contest and ended up having their face in a video game. I definitely remember the game Infected on the PlayStation 4... I'm sorry, on the PlayStation Portable had that, but yeah, it's pretty cool that that happened. Jacob Miller, Bruce Dansky, Richard Bow, missing. That's kind of cool. I'm pretty certain those are Remedy guys. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty certain those were guys working for Remedy, or probably still work for Remedy.
Mr. Wake, the sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor.
All right.
That was Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on, other things these days.
She'd fit right in where I come from.
As you can see, she's a little obsessed with maintaining the light bulbs of the whole town, refuses to step on shadows, things like that. Back in her day, she wrote about all sorts of weird things in the paper. Bright Falls has a colorful history. Of course, what small town hasn't?
I guess we missed something. I'm not feeling too bad about it, but there was a scene here. I guess because I was too busy over here looking at the posters and everything. I missed the scene, but
see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
yeah, I'm sorry about that. Remember the lamp lady from the diner, the woman talking about the bulbs? She was just in here basically talking about the bulbs here. So, oh, manuscript pages are still showing up over here too. Oh. All right, here's a little Easter egg for you guys. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the parade float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
So all they cared about now, for those of you guys who remember, or maybe if you missed my last part, Stucky was that big enemy that we had. Something had happened to him. He had been changed somehow, and he's gone now, unfortunately, because I had to, self-defense basically. But I do get a kick out of the fact that the only thing they cared about was that giant deer parade float, making sure that was okay. Oh, I guess
Sheriff
I can't go down here right now.
is waiting for you down the corridor in her office.
All right. All right, let's go talk to Sarah.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Okay, I just want to make a comment about this. Back in the day, like 2 decades ago,
Your
basically.
phone, Mr. Wake?
Okay, maybe 1 decade ago. 1 freaking decade ago, literally no phones had compatible chargers at all.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
That sounded serious.
I need some fresh air. Can I go out? In the back, maybe?
Of course, Mr. Wake. I understand. You can get there through the cells. Deputy Grant can show you the way.
I'm sorry. All of this, it's just a lot to take in.
Take your time, Mr. Wake. I understand. Can I ask you what the call was about, Mr. Wake?
It's personal.
Well, we are looking for your wife, and I'm going to need your cooperation if I'm going to help you.
I need a moment, after I get some fresh air.
Okay. You can find me here. We'll talk when you feel up to it.
All right. I took the call. So it seems like right now somebody's got Alice. Yeah. So this is a big deal.
Can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit drinking for good.
Oh, no such luck. He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
We will be talking more about this guy in just a few minutes, but I did get a kick out of this fact.
Hey, mister! Hey, can you turn the light? The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. Thank you, man, thank you. Hey, you're alright. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See? Sure.
For your enjoyment, everybody.
I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen. You gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien!
Of course it is.
Something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
We're gonna talk more about this guy in a bit, but I just want to say a couple of things really quick about this guy and about this area. A couple of things you'll notice is that this is obviously a jail cell. Remedy makes a lot of jail cells in their game. One of my favorite scenes in in Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, is a scene where Max has to go through a jail cell and he has to overhear the conversations of the prisoners, and one in particular about a guy who got picked up for a DUI. I thought it was just hilarious, but I won't repeat it. You'll have to play the game, but that's like one of my favorite bits. Now, I remember that Remedy mentioned that they did a lot of research into what small town jails would be like, essentially, and who would be populating small towns like this. Obviously, because they wanted to make jail and make this authentic. And they discovered that basically small town jails pretty much look like this, small, and really the only people that occupy it is the town drunk. That's basically it. That's all you basically got when you got a small town. There's not really, when it comes to major crime isn't really something that happens, and so what you got instead is, you know, the town drunk, who's a regular. But it is kind of interesting. The guy did say that he is not drunk.
Headache. The man on the phone had said,
or wasn't drunk at the time.
On the left.
So, I could make a tater salad joke here. I probably, you know, I didn't want to be drunk in public. I wanted to be drunk in a bar. They threw me in public. That's the junker the guy told me to go into.
The caller told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car.
All right. I know I'm not going to do major for collections and things like that over here, but just be aware that there is a radio show here, so you can listen to this.
It's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep.
So this would be the end of Pat Main's broadcast for the night, which is kind of cool, I think.
It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department.
I won't make you guys listen to it. So, all right. Let's see if we can head over here. Guy said that it was in here, so.
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
So he had her driver's license. Now, there's a quick comment I want to say, actually,
God, where the hell
after
have you
Barry
been?
stops talking.
I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Okay, quick comment, if I may. You didn't get a chance to see that license very well, but you can actually see it pretty easily if you buy the game guide. Basically, it has a better copy of her driver's license, and it's actually an error because we're here in the United States, and in the United States we have date of birth written on licenses and documents as month, day, year. That's how we usually put them. But in Europe, I've heard, and Shishi Bell or Kajar, when they come in, can probably back me up about this, they do day, month, year, and not month, day, year. And because this game was made in Finland, if you look at Alice's driver's license very closely, you can see that even though it is a United States issued driver's license, it's listed day, month, year, not month, day, year. So I considered that an error. I posted it on the IMDb. That was me, by the way, who posted that error on the IMDb. Just so you know.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Okay. Remember, Alan lost a week. A week happened and he doesn't have any memory of it. Now here's the thing. These scenes likely could have happened while Alan, during Alan's missing week. But is this supernatural showing these scenes? Or is this a way of Alan's brain to try to rectify how those scenes happen?
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff...
So this was the guy watching after the Andersons.
Thor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down.
This also looks like the guy that wrote that book. This is Dr. Hartman, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey!
Hothead!
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent.
Barry! So nice to see
you.
you.
If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
Oh, Barry.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake!
Barry, you found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you.
So this is the Elderwood National Park, or one of the lodges for the Elderwood National Park. They were talking about it recently. This is where Rusty works. And as you can kind of tell, he's kind of got a thing going on with Rose, the diner lady. Now, this is supposed to be a mastodon. I don't know if there's a real-world analog in one of the national parks up there, but I hope there is, because they named it Bucktooth Charlie. And ever since I played this game, I've referred to all woolly mammoths as Bucktooth Charlie, because of course they got those huge tusks, and I think they're awesome. So I don't know if there is a real national park or lodge or something displaying a mastodon statue in the Northwest. But if somebody knows that answer, please post a comment, because I'd love to go see it. I think the mastodon is awesome. I know that there have been remnants of mastodons found over the years. It happens, you know. I think at one point we actually found one frozen in ice, which was pretty awesome, actually. Pretty decently preserved.
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice.
Do you understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Okay, if I remember correctly, I think there's a coffee thermos in this area originally, but we'll move on. This little area right here in the Elderwood is probably at least I think. I remember when I got this TV, when I bought my this is like 40-inch 1080p basically. I thought it was like the hot craziness, awesomeness. And I remember people asking me, well, you got anything to play on this that really shows it off? And this was it. This little vista spot right here. I remember.
Boy. I'm almost done.
Saying to myself,
hey,
this
Rusty,
right here, this is a great looking scene.
Oh, Mr. Wake, I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here.
Poor
Actually,
little Max.
I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What
That's
happened?
poor little Max. He got
Crazy poachers.
Yeah.
Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes.
That is true.
Hell, at least Max is gonna be okay. He got lucky.
Poor little thing.
Max is still groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet. The form's on the desk across from the mammoth skeleton.
All right, I'll go get it. Okay, so that's where Rusty's been.
You can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster.
Except
You
when they
gotta talk
don't.
to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No. This whole thing... Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah, but no, I like Barry. Say what you will about Barry, he's honest and he's loyal, and that's and that is true to the end. And that's why I think that so many people really liked Barry. Obviously, he's comic relief in an otherwise. You know, if it wasn't for him, this story would be a lot more serious. There'd be less humor in it, and he brings a good amount of humor needed to an essentially, to a thick story. But back to what I was saying earlier, it is illegal to hunt in national forest. It just is. You are not allowed to do it.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how
Oh,
to get
you
to
can
Lover's
mine, but you
Oh,
can't.
sure.
You can't hunt.
It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
We'll talk more about mining later.
If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that. Oh, and hey, if you take a walk in the woods, watch your steps so you don't end up like Max.
Oh, there's the radio mast.
I guess I'm a little worried. We got a bunch of campers out there we haven't heard from. It's not like these people are on a schedule, but with the traps, well, you know. I just don't want any trouble.
Right. Thanks.
All right.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No one asked you to come here, Barry. Either work with me on this or go straight back to New York. Your choice.
Okay, I guess they're done. Sorry. I thought it was pronounced homeopathy. I thought that's how it was pronounced. Maybe I'm wrong. But I thought it was pronounced homeopathy. Alright, let's get going.
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Achoo! Achoo!
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist.
Yeah,
It'll
that's
be
true.
Deliverance all over again.
Achoo!
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Can't tell what that book says. Alright, we'll move
Lock
on.
the door when I leave.
Yeah, you go ahead and do what you have to do. I'll be fine. Alone, but fine. In a cabin straight from a horror movie.
Forgive me for laughing. I'm sorry. These jokes are great. A couple of comments I want to make. From what I've been told and from doing my own independent research, there are cabins near Crater Lake in real life. There is a Crater Lake National Park or something along those lines, something near it. And I did do some research, basically. They're only open during certain seasons, certain times of the year, essentially. And the upside of that is that they are available to stay in. And I've heard great things about them, but the thing I also heard about them is that they're always booked. Like I tried booking, or I tried at least looking into booking for about a year or two ago, and the entire season was booked solid, and that was every cabin. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but what can you do, basically? So I remember this scene in particular being not the first scene that they demoed with the final version of the game, but this was like one preview at least of this game showed this particular scene, and I just wanted to
Real
trigger
funny,
this.
Al. Real funny. Ha ha! Thank you. I'll just sit here in the dark till you come back, or until I get eaten by a grue.
Yeah, I wanted to keep that in there. You were
wanna
likely
know
to
where
be
you
eaten
can
by a
shove
grave.
that flashlight?
All right, I'll turn the lights back on. I just wanted to trigger that. I just wanted to trigger that for you guys. All right, let's leave Barry by himself. He'll be fine over there. Okay, moving on. There is some stuff back here from what I've been told, but I don't want to deal with it too much right now. Barry did lock the door, so there's no way in. And I'm pretty certain there was a coffee thermos there, but I won't deal with it right now. Might have been over here. I can't remember exactly, but it's no big deal. So we'll be looking more at this area later. Let's get started because it's going to be a bit of a walk to Lover's Peak from here. So I'll just tell some.
Wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Locking the door now.
All right, good man. All right, so the doors are locked. He's going to be safe in there, at least as far as I can tell. He'll be safe in there. So it's going to be a bit of a walk to Lover's Peak from here. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about this particular level, give you some behind-the-scenes information, that sort of thing, basically. Let's pick up this manuscript page. This is Barry's car. Barry has the keys.
Barry had the keys to the car he rented. It wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
Yeah, we'll leave this car. Leave this car by itself, but I just want to say, is this like this kind of looks like a yellow Hummer or something like that? You know what this kind of reminds me of? The vehicle that Lightspeed Rescue used in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. This looked like the Lightspeed Rescue van or something like that.
I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Alright, so like I said, I promised you guys some behind-the-scenes information, and now's a good time, it's a good spot to talk about some behind-the-scenes information about the game. So, for those of you guys who were interested in, well, what was the first preview, at least of the final version of the game, or what would become the final version of the game, that would probably be the E3 2009 demo. Now, unfortunately, I missed E3 2009. I didn't go to that year's E3, unfortunately. I wasn't invited. But, that was, from all intents and purposes, I heard, an amazing E3. That was like the first E3 that I've been around in quite a while. And I believe it was Sam Lake who took the stage during the Microsoft E3 press conference, just around the same time that Joe Staten took the stage to show off Halo, what would have become Halo 3 ODST. This particular section of gameplay was shown at E3, and they did later do re-previews.
Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like? My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know. Oh, tell me about it.
All right, I'll move on. Oh, I forgot I should turn the lights on.
Yes, exactly, Bat. But I'm going to check out
the essential thing for every cabin: a coffee maker. You got to have a coffee maker.
Too. Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
All right, moving on. No, the reason why I brought this up was because this section right here, with its rumbles and everything, this was just a great moment to preview. It's not that far into the game. It's got pretty standard gameplay for the game itself. So it's a fantastic. It really does show up the app. It's a great slice of gameplay, basically. So I got to applaud the guys at Remedy for choosing this particular game to this particular part of the game to show off. It's just quintessential Alan Wake. This particular level. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna investigate this particular portion. We are in the demo portion right now. So pretty much everything you're seeing. Obviously, they expanded it. Like, I think there were a couple more manuscript pages in the demo portion. But for right now, I'm pretty certain the environment itself is what was used. So we're just going to do a little bit more investigation of these cabins, see if there's anything useful in here. This one's locked, so. When in doubt, kick it down. Anything useful in here? Well, no manuscript pages or ammo. It's not as far as I can tell. But there is the TV. Oh, sweet. We can watch Night Springs. Now, I just want to make you guys aware that there are achievements, basically, for finding every manuscript page. There's achievements for finding every television, every radio, and including there's another achievement for finding all of the manuscript pages, including the manuscript pages that are only available on the hard difficulty or findable on the hard difficulty. So, yeah, we're getting into what would become... This is a little spot up here that's very easy to miss, so I kind of want to show you guys this one. There is usually something up here, so... Let's grab this and move on. Now, we're not trying to get every collectible in the game, but I will point out all the collectibles that I at least can remember their locations. And like I said, all the manuscript pages and all the can pyramids are not recoverable. Once you've knocked down a can pyramid or a manuscript page, I'm sorry, or a coffee thermos, those can't be recollected unless you're playing in a different profile. So there's no point in remembering where those are. Oh.
The vision
Alan's, the darkness is jostling.
No head injury.
I think Rusty's in there.
Hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me!
Alright, let's check it out.
Anybody? Help me! Help me! Can you hear me? Anyone? Please help!
Okay, Rusty wants some help, but I want to investigate a bit more. If I remember correctly, there is a coffee thermos behind this building. I thought there might be some supplies in here, but I guess not. But I'm pretty certain that there's a coffee thermos behind it. Alright, let's check on Rusty, but first let's grab this manuscript page. Alright, Lover's Peak is over that way, which is where we're headed.
Hello?
Back here. I'm back here. Hey, please help me.
Alright. See if there's anybody else in here. Here's Bucktooth Charlie. Oh, here's Rusty.
Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened. Shh. Good boy.
So, those pages are not a delusion of Alan. They are real. And they do have the future in them, or they do have knowledge of the future. So, this is confirmation, basically. Rusty must have found one of the pages. All the pages have been scattered. They're all over Bright Falls, basically. And it's clear now.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
Yeah. If the lights hurt them, then obviously just turning on some floodlights or something should keep Rusty safe. But the important thing to remember is that, well, this is still the E3 demo. Like, this particular portion with Rusty and everything, this is still E3 demo, so. I didn't even know I could go this way. Alright, I won't screw around anymore. Nice map, though. So I guess these are kind of holdovers from the open world game section. Because this forest, we do get to explore most of this forest, and It's pretty cool. Alright. Nothing in here. No lights. Manuscript page, though. Alright, this would be the Ranger Security Station. You guys might remember that I believe that when it comes to national, what's the word? When it comes to, like, national, I don't know if your nation is different than the United States, but when it comes to, like, national forests and things like that, I'm sorry, national parks, those are not, those are outside the jurisdiction. Those are, that's federal land. That's not state land. So, basically, local police do not have authority there.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker.
There's no way to get the lights back on now.
There was no way to get the lights back on.
So, here, officially, Rusty is the wall.
Rusty! Rusty!
The ground was covered with alien branches that looked like liquid darkness.
Take my advice, guys. When you're playing on high difficulty, it takes longer. But these things right here, these oily patches of darkness, they do hurt you if you walk over them. You can dodge them, but it's just easier just to hold your flashlight in front of them and just take them out that way.
I just need hunting licenses.
Oh, look. Some friends. Maybe they'll let me play with them. Now remember, guys, your gun bullets do not work unless you first shine a light onto a person for an extended period of time. Otherwise, they might as well be wearing a bulletproof vest. That's a good tip to know in real life and in fantasy.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized
Maniac does
hole
not,
in the wall.
Maniac does not take any responsibility if you actually decide to use that tip.
Don't feed the animals.
Oh boy, Max is... Hopefully Max got away.
Fishing is only permitted for those visitors who purchase a park fishing license. The park ranger's instructions at all times.
Rusty.
Rusty? Rusty, no!
Never. Two bears and wolves never approach any other. Closer than 25 yards.
Remember how I was saying the last mission that these guys that dash like this is more powerful taken? They can be kind of frustrating to fight because they just dash, and if this guy tries to take a swipe at me, you also take more bullets than normal taking. Now, thankfully, when it comes to guys like this, they can be stunned. You can stun them, so... You know, as for what happens to happen to Max, we really don't know, unfortunately. We see the cages there, but I don't think there's ever a body scene. It's implied that Rusty might have hurt Max, but from the looks of it, it looks like he might have just knocked over the cage and then Max ran away or something, which is what I'm hoping is the truth. Now, a couple more comments about this and about, if you want to talk about Max, they're like, well, what do we engage in this game, basically? Do we ever engage our fight taking animals or taking creatures? And the answer is, with the exception of the birds, no. And there's a reason for that. They did have the idea that maybe at one point during the game's development, the developers did toy with the fact of possibly fighting taking controlled animals or darkness-controlled animals or something. Checkpoint. But they never actually did it. And there's a reason for that.
What the hell was that? I saw from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
So now even Barry's being affected by this. Like, he thought this was nonsense, and now even... So, Alan's not crazy. You know, these pages are real. This is not a figment of Alan's imagination. We know this now. People are being affected by this. This is not just Alan by himself being crazy. So, back to what I was saying before. the reason why there is no taking animals in the game is basically it has partially to do with animation, but it also has to do with gameplay simplification. Basically, the way that one of the interviewers described it, basically, in this game there's 3 systems in place. They wanted you to look forward or straight ahead of you for taken. They wanted you to look up just to fight the birds, and they wanted you to look down for traps, whether it be the bear traps or whether it be. Okay, Lover's Peak is that way.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
But there's some cool stuff over here. Looks like there's markers and stuff over here. So this is Moonshiner's Cave, actually, right here. Now, trying to remember what I was saying earlier about caves and about oh, that's right. Actually, there are mines that are you are allowed to mine in national parks in certain states. I've seen mining happen actually quite a bit. And yeah, moonshining, I don't know. I always remembered moonshining being kind of like an Appalachia kind of thing. But there's a lot of references to moonshining in this game, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. For those of you guys who might have been born in the Pacific Northwest or remember the Pacific Northwest, because I have not, was moonshining a thing? Because it is a thing in this game. So you guys will have to tell me more about it. If you're from the Pacific Northwest and you know more, I mean, for me personally, I think moonshining, at least in today's day and age, should be something that's considered completely unnecessary. I don't believe that. I believe if people want to distill their own alcohol. Now, I don't drink, but I do believe that there should be nothing, at least not legally. There's no reason why people should not be allowed to create their own alcohol, especially given the fact that they did make what do you call it, illegal. Ever since Prohibition was repealed, as far as I'm concerned, the repealing of Prohibition should mean that alcohol manufacturing, at least for one's own personal consumption, should be perfectly acceptable in today's day and age. And if you don't believe that, then you really should get with the times. There apparently are some states that don't agree with that, and I think that they are wrong. I think that they're wrong. So, again, my citation for this is the fact that Prohibition is illegal, is no longer the law of the land. When Prohibition was the law of the land, then yes, you should not have been allowed to do this. And that's probably when moonshining was happening in its heyday. And we've known for a fact that, you know, the fact that they chose to repeal Prohibition just goes to show you that you know, those laws and the intention behind those laws at a federal level is stupid or was wrong. So there are some, you know, people that say, and I'm talking about, like, law enforcement says that even though Prohibition is no longer a law and it's not part of the Constitution anymore, which it isn't, it was repealed, you're still going to enforce Prohibition laws as if it is 100 years ago. Well, wow, that's kind of backwards thinking. But I don't begrudge people who want to drink. I don't have legal precedent for it. So, I'll get off my soapbox now. Getting a little controversial during this stream, but I'm pretty satisfied with that. I don't think it's, honestly, I don't think that my opinions are controversial even the slightest. So, they shouldn't be, at least. All right, let's go check over here before we check out Lover's Peak, just to see what's going on up here. It looks like there's some cool stuff over here. Maybe there might be a pyramid or an extra page on the oh yeah, there's an extra manuscript page up here. Nice little picnic area. I kind of like this. I'm not a huge fan of, like, eating outdoors because, well, there's bugs. I you know, it's like, usually I'm like, I'm gonna eat my meal outdoor. You know, there's always either wind, or there's too much sun, or there's too little sun, or there could be rain. You know, we have houses, people eat indoors for a reason. I mean, occasionally eating outdoors is nice, but you're talking maybe about for maybe 2 weeks a year or something. The grand total of maybe 2 weeks a year, eating outdoors can be nice, but. All right, moving on. Okay. Oh, there's something up here. Looks like a safe haven up here or something. This isn't Lover's Peak. Okay, I got some more shotgun ammo. I get some bigger guys over here, so I'm going to hold on to this shotgun ammo for right now. Cafe, the souvenir shop. Lover's Peak is this way. Yeah, that's the way back down I came. Oh, that's a big guy. That is a very big man. And he's mad. And he hurts. I think I had the shotgun. The great old one, foiled by lightning. Also, there is an achievement for finding all the signs and stuff. So, got two guys on me at once. Safe haven still open. I can heal up here. All right, let me go back up here. All right, it didn't checkpoint me, but I did heal, so that's pretty good. So yeah, there are, I kind of showed some of the signs, or I kind of hit B on some of the signs. There's also an achievement for getting all the signs. I don't know if I collected every single sign so far, but I think I'm going to stay on the trail for safety reasons right now. Or maybe not. That hurt. It's like they throw... Who throws axes? I mean, seriously, you don't throw axes. You if you're going to come after me, you don't throw an axe at me. You just kind of, you know, you come up to me and stab me. People who throw axes are cowards, I say. Or take it. Okay. Moving on. Three more guys. One thing that you actually notice is that the blinding light, as long as you hold the blinding light on someone, you can see that it does stun them. It doesn't cover the rocks, so it can slow them down. I think that in some, you know, that's kind of cool to kind of see them. Like, so the light does affect them more than just, it can slow them down. The problem is that when you put that light down, he doesn't want to cross. Boy. That reactivates the light. That's good. I don't know how common those kind of emergency boxes are in situations like this. So I can imagine them putting batteries or flares in them, but I don't know for sure. They've taken out all the phones, so I got no one to call. I'm pretty certain that there is a what do you call it back there? I think that there is a very easily missable coffee thermos back there, so just keep that in mind. Bear alerts. Thankfully, there are actually no bears in the game. There are no bears to fight in the game, so that's kind of useful. All right, let's check up here really quick. Oh, he looks mad. And so does he. Board with nails. These guys can't skip, which is good. But they do take... They do swarm. And I don't have too much to take these guys out right now, so... Oh crap, I didn't see him. Alright, there's somebody else up here though. Oh, here he is. I'm saving the. I was saving the shotgun for the big guys, because it's easier to take them out with the big rounds than it is to use lots and lots of bullets on them. So At least more efficient that way. Alright, so Lover's Peak is that way. Stay on trail for safety reasons. I just love the atmosphere of this game, and I think this is why a lot of people love this game so much. I mean, look at how well it does atmosphere. Let's look at how cool this looks. It's so exciting to watch, to look at, to pay attention to. I mean, it just feels like the whole environment is alive. Alright, so there's nothing back here. Maybe there might have been a coffee thermos or something back here at one point, but there's no ammo. And if there was a coffee thermos, it wouldn't have respawned, so... Or it wouldn't respawn. So here's the through tree. I've been told these redwoods, especially the really old redwoods, are just so old and so amazing. Now, I want to check this area out before we move on too much further. Because there is some stuff back here. But like you can see like this, like trees like this do exist. I mean, look at this. This particular slice of tree shows how big the tree is, but it also shows... I mean, look at this. Yes, I've seen slices of trees that are that old, and you can tell from the rings just how old they are, which is just awesome. So, it's worth going back to that area just to check out that particular sign and to see the tree. But trees like that definitely exist. I've been to several museums that have slices of trees like that. Usually they do some way of preserving them, like they'll use a shellac or something like that. But the truth is that they really don't know how old a tree is until they can definitively cut it down. So while the tree is alive, you have no idea. You can guess, but you're not going to know for sure until you cut the tree down, until you know how old it is. Usually we'll wait for trees to actually just die from natural means before we mess around with them too much, but you never know. I haven't seen too many cable cars like this on the national trails that I've been on. I've heard cases where you'll have, you know, very, very slow or very, very narrow paths crossing two chasms or something on a designated trail, but that's it. I've also heard cases of like, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. Shit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alfred Hitchcock is claiming copyright here. Uh-oh. Hey. Hey, I remember you.
Come on,
you were on the ferry.
Moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
You can see them too?
Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake! You better keep up.
This is Mott, guys. Some people might remember Mott. Oh boy. Mott's got no flashlight, so that means I gotta take these guys out. Got him. All right, we're moving. Some guys might remember the guy Stucky, who I had to fight in the last act, the last chapter. Originally, in the original design, Stucky was actually supposed to be the kidnapper, and Mott was actually the gas station guy. And you can actually see this in the original Intel
Lover's Peak, right up these stairs, Wake.
sign for like
Use
Mott's
the
gas
flares from the
station or something,
emergency
whereas
box
it's
to hold
Stucky's
them
gas
off while I
station
get
here.
these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it.
I don't know why they chose to change it, but they did. Maybe they thought Stucky worked better. The name Stucky worked better for the gas station, I guess. I can hold the flares. I can use them in conjunction with the light. Or I can drop them where I want. So.
Move it or lose it.
Let's go, move it. Come on, Stucky, shoot him. Or Mott, come on, Mott, shoot him.
Oh, you feeling better now, Wake?
All right, that's better.
Cozy and safe.
So it sounds like Mott has some of the pages too. So if this guy is the kidnapper, that would mean that he was the one who probably left Alice's driver's license in the old car near the police station. At least that's my understanding of it. How he got Alice's license is beyond my I don't know. I still can't figure that one out. How he got her license. The only thing I could come up with is maybe he picked Alice's pocket on the ferry.
The last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake.
Oh boy. We're screwed. This will keep him away. This won't hurt him. This won't kill him. I swear, for a guy with a gun, this guy's got terrible aim. And he still has to reload after 6 shots. We're boned. I don't want to hurt these guys really quickly. Because these things are essentially invulnerable until after that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Not see those guys. Come on, shoot them, Mott. Yeah, when you got those big guys, you gotta use flares against them. They take a long time to hurt. Anybody left?
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were going to say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're going to bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her mouth.
That was deserved. All right, I got his weapon.
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
He is angry.
And he
But can you
wanted the
blame him?
manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move.
Now this guy wants the whole manuscript. That's all he wants. Why he wants the manuscript, I know why he wants the manuscript, but he's like, does he want it for money? Like, what's his intentions? I'll tell you later why his, and there's a really good spot where I'll tell you guys what his motivations are, or it'll probably be clear to you later on. I don't want to tell you just yet, but for right now you're probably thinking, okay, he's got Alice, he wants the manuscript. Overall, with the exception of all these monsters that are showing up as the level progresses, they're clearly becoming more and more real. Other people see them. Other people are finding these pages as well, and it's clear that he's probably found a couple of pages himself on his own. But, oh boy. That guy does not look happy to see me. There's something over here, maybe? Let me check to see if there's something over here. Chasm. Plane. Don't know. It's a big environment, though. But a lot of these... nothing. No supplies. I was kind of hoping for a couple of supplies, but I guess there's no supplies here. I do still have some flares, though. Those will help. Okay. So back to what I was saying. The way that this... because you can kind of see the shades of the open world game here. Now, Remedy did a couple of things to basically make it look like this, but you can clearly see the lines and the seams. Usually the solid rock walls, basically, are pretty good gaps for where the... you can't get, obviously you can't get around. Oh, boy. I forgot, you can't shoot these things. The bear traps. Yeah. All these bear traps left behind by the poachers. You do not want to get caught in one of these, buddy. Trust me. You could end up taking your whole leg off. This is why you don't poach, ladies and gentlemen. Because they will hurt people. I don't need a bearskin rug. My mother doesn't need a bearskin rug. If you want to go get a bearskin rug, fight it with your bare arms or your bare hands. Make, like a one-on-one match. Then you deserve to have a bearskin rug. Otherwise, stay at home. Or enjoy nature from a distance. A safe distance. Notice how these things don't get caught up in the bear traps. They can't. They're like, I guess they're because they're incorporeal, I think that's the word. They can't get caught in the bear traps. I know I kind of was hoping at one point that you could get the bear traps or get them to... Oh, crap. I think we're good here. But I think I'm okay. Alright, let's see if I can make it out of the woods. Okay, we got some supplies here. If anybody tries to ambush me, I'll just set off a flare. I still got a couple flares left. They don't exactly pass out supplies like candy here, but it is common to see, like, let's say, oh. I mean, let's say, for example, the cabin. There could be supplies in this cabin for cabin boxes and things like that. It's so they do end up in lots of places. Oh, that guy is huge, and all I got is a pistol right now. I have to use a flare for him. That guy takes like double the amount of hits. this. Anything else over here that could be useful? A hunting rifle, that's good. Okay. Saw a generator back here. I might be able to get this thing started. No, nothing here. But there might have at one point been like a... Thought I saw something. It might have been a tree. I thought at one point there might have been like a coffee thermostat. Okay, good place to heal. I've got a hunting rifle. I've got some flares. Got an extra manuscript page. All right, let's do this.
I had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen, but it was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
Yeah, this plane is in a lot of references. There are a lot of cases under which Alan or Barry would be basically flying. And there are a few references to like, oh yeah, you can see the darkness is all over this thing. So obviously the darkness took this thing down. We don't know the full story. I think it looks pretty damn awesome, I'll be honest with you. Yep, it's over there, so I'm gonna have to cross. Let's just treat this like one giant seesaw, shall we? If I lower this thing? I think I can lower it. Alright, that did something. Maybe it might be easier to manipulate now. Oh, we got something. Now let's grab some flares. This kind of actually reminds me of another game, actually. It's not too often, at least not as far as I can tell, you find the remnants of planes and stuff in video games. One in particular that always appeared to me, it was always going to be in the game because it was in a lot of concept art, was the game Jurassic Park Trespasser. A terrible game by most standards, but definitely interesting to think about and talk about the history of it, or history behind it, if you will. In a lot of ways, Trespasser actually did contribute to this game as well, because a lot of the gameplay in this game is physics-based, and the effects are physics-based, and that's what Trespasser had. So I can see a lot of Trespasser in this particular game, and that's not that's in a good way. I mean that in a good way. And oh boy. Should keep you safe. Let's just take these guys out one at a time. Easier that way. Okay, I think that got everybody here. But yeah, there was a smuggler's plane in Trespasser that I always thought was kind of cool. Guys. The flares, the nice thing about the flares is that the flares will actually bring down the shields on these guys, but it won't kill them, unfortunately. There are other weapons that can kill the Taken without having to resort to bullets, but in the case of the flares, you have to use the flares in conjunction with bullets to make a permanent hurt. I thought I saw something. Here it is. Alright, cool. Sometimes not all of the generators are on, so you got to turn them on to create safe zones. And then from there you can turn those into checkpoints, so that's always useful. Okay, so let's move on with the compass. I am gonna have to. I forgot that they have the bullets in the flare status in the upper right-hand portion of the screen. I thought it was in. I thought they were kept in the upper left-hand portion. So remind me for that my next stream when I stream the next chapter to move my portion to the lower left. Just for reference, I can do that with this software. So in Quantum Break, they had it. You know, they kept those that there was nothing up here basically in that portion of the screen. But now that I'm looking at the screen now, I can tell that. I can tell I'm going to need to move my, I'm going to have to move that. So I think there was a camp pyramid here or around here somewhere originally. I'm not totally certain on that, but pretty certain that's here. Another comment I want to make is a thank you to Remedy. Basically, this game is remarkably stable, and the frame rate is fantastic. And it was fantastic even on the Xbox 360 version. I can't tell you how many games I would have dealt with last generation which would have just involuntary stutter and nothing. I can deal with a slightly reduced frame rate as long as there's no stuttering. But the second you start giving me stuttering in video games, I start trying to tweak my hardware. And since you have a console, you can't really do that. So this was solid. You know, this you got to give props to Remedy for delivering a stable game. At a stable frame rate. Old sawmill, very nice. The heck? Oh. This thing's hurt. I didn't even see it. I had my eyes open. I didn't remember there was darkness up here, but I guess there is. That's on me, guys. Sorry. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah, I can't climb up there to get the manuscript. At least not from there. I'm just trying to speed up the process. I know you shouldn't focus the beam. There was a way to climb up here. Here's a manuscript page. Is there another way up? I thought there was like a ladder up here or something. Let me check back. I thought there was like a ladder or a release or something. Check again, check the ceiling. What am I missing? I know I'm missing something. It says get to the top of the mill. I was pretty certain. Where's my pathfinding ability? Pretty certain there was something in this room that allowed me to go up. Did I knock something over? Did I miss something? I can't go down. I know that. I can't go over that way. I know that. This is just like a little perch or something. Let me try climbing again. Maybe I missed something upstairs. Oh, here we go. Forgot about that. Now I can make the jump. It's always something. That was like, I remember not having much of an issue the first time I played that, but in subsequent playthroughs, I always missed that. Sorry about that gap, guys. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, we're at the top. Mostly. Here's the ladder. This is the ladder I was thinking of. Alright, let's just take these things out first, just to prevent us from getting seriously injured, shall we? Maybe that doesn't work as well as I thought it would. Instant skylight. Very nice. Alright, let's move on. Darkness. The darkness wears her face. It stuns them. It's useful. I got a more powerful flashlight though right now. There's only so much capacity that these batteries will hold. So. Some ammo. Hidden manuscript page. Very nice. Just jump around this. It's a lot easier to climb and do climbing mechanics in Quantum Break than it was here, but you can see the beginnings of that platforming stuff. In fact, I remember you could even see platforming stuff when it came to the original Max Payne game. The difference is that they were very much against having heavy platforming, climbing and that sort of thing at the time when the original Max Payne game came out, because at the same time Max Payne came out, or was in the process of development, there was another game coming out that had pretty much taken platforming by storm when it came to third-person action games, and that game was, of course, the original Tomb Raider. And I swear to you that I've seen in interviews after the original Max Payne came out that Remedy was concerned, most all during development, of getting Tomb Raider comparisons, or being told that when Max Payne came out, it was in fact a Tomb Raider clone. That was their heavy concern. I am not kidding. So that just tells you just how powerful that and let me be honest, after that game came out, that was the last thing I think anybody ever suspected Max Payne would be ripping off. At the same time. Oh, these are both big guys. Yeah, these are both big guys. Nice. Got him. Alright, I think we're safe. So yeah, I want to just make a comment about the flashlights here. When it comes to flashlights, I don't think flashlight power is that essential. At least for the different... There are different types of flashlights that you can actually wield in the game, and different types of light sources that you can use. Pretty much any type of light source kind of has an effect, at least in the game's story. There's Lover's Peak over there. See, I can see the radio tower from here. Yep, there's the radio tower up there. Right, what's over here? The campgrounds are over here. Now, they did say that there were missing campers. Or there were campers that had gone up here that were not heard from, so... That can't be good. Oh, boy. This guy does not look happy to see me. So, let's say we take care of him. Hey, buddy, shall we? Yeah, this guy's a big guy. This is why you save the flares, guys. Alright, I got a little hurt there, but I should be okay. Alright, we're coming up on the campgrounds now. Checkpoint reached. All right.
Barry?
Ow! The porch is covered with birds. They've got all Hitchcock on me.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What, am I crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on.
All right, let's go see what's up with the campgrounds. Maybe the campers that Rusty was talking about can be somewhere around here.
I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods.
Anybody use RVs for camping? I don't own an RV, but I've been watching a lot of those RV shows, and I kind of like the idea of having an RV or a motorhome like this. Actually, they look kind of cool. My dad used to have this pop-up trailer that could be converted into a camper. It had 2 full-size beds, which were really big. They could easily hit like 2 to 3 people, fit like 2 to 3 people, and you could put a sleeping bag on it or bed sheets on it. You'd be fine.
Garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus.
But my dad ended up selling it. We only used it we probably used it about a half a dozen to a dozen times. And we only used it at like 1 or 2 possible campgrounds, which were very far away. So. Alright. See anything in here? Now, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't do this, but this is an emergency. So we're going to check out the ladies' room, see if there's anything in here.
We're
not really seeing anything.
The garage.
What about in the men's room? Let's check the men's room. The lights are on in here. Key.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
As a writer, trust me, I know this to be the truth. And let me tell you why. The story has to make sense. The story has to have custom. Now, normally people would basically say, "Oh, that's critics." That, you know, it's a critic's job to point it out, not the writer's job. The writer's job is to tell the story he wants to tell. But in the case of this, we're going to learn more about how this, or the origin of this darkness, or basically why it's so essential to be a good writer. You know, we're going to talk more about it as time goes on. And we are in our first vehicle, guys. Oh, so nice. Yes, boys and girls, this is our very first vehicle that we can drive in the game. It's fully drivable. I've seen other versions of the game that actually had... You just gotta love these barricades and stuff. These artificial barricades. Anything they can use to close off the open world sections. But, yeah, I'm kind of one of those guys. I can see the seams, if you will. Now, there is an achievement, actually, for running over a bunch of guys with, So, normally I wouldn't waste time doing this, but it's just so much freaking fun. Now, you see you got a little bit of GTA in your, yeah, you can see the flashing lights and everything. That's how you know that the car is active. You can't drive it. Where the heck did these guys come from? But I do like that the car battery works the way it does. So let's do a little investigation, shall we? Nice little cabin. Looks nice. Not safe. Definitely not safe. But we will take care of that. That works. I saw a third guy around here, but... You can get out of the vehicle, too. there's stuff in here. I want to pick this up. I got no flares left. And... good. Right, this is useful. Okay. That's why you're grateful for the compass, basically. It does help for navigation in larger areas. I want to grab that car back there because there's only so long these cars last before they break up. And there is a safe haven back there that I kind of want to use, so... Okay, he's not going to hurt me here. The darkness kind of disappear when you walk into one of these places, so... They will respawn, but... At least when you're in a safe zone, they kind of magically just disappear, so... I wanted to grab a clean car, so this is a pretty fresh car. Now, there are two ways to fight this area. One is you can go up that way without a car. This has a little bit less force handling than I thought it would. Yeah, it's going to take you... Okay, so there are two ways up. One is this way, and the other is you take the car up this way. I'm going to take the car route, because I usually like going up that way, but for the purposes of the time, I'm going to just take the car driving route. It's a lot easier. And there's another car here, which I can use. Thank you, car. So, it looks like I guess in the Northwest, everybody just leaves their car, their keys in their car. But that having been said, from what they said, the way that this game worked... Can't go that way. At least the way that basically it could have been that they were all taken while their keys were in their ignition. So we'll have to learn more about the darkness in order to know more about that. But yeah, we could have walked up that way. I really didn't want to. I kind of want to just take the car up. So this is where we were. All right, let's just keep going up and get back to Barry. We're just a few feet away from Barry anyway, so it's not much of a... And now we've got this barrier, so I can't take the car all the way up. But... Alright, let's see what we got here. Lighting and power.
The flare gun was probably the best weapon.
Got some flare gun ammo, that's nice.
Dark things I was facing.
I think I got everybody in that hit. I guess there's 3 more. That hurts. All right. Got him. And we are coming towards the end of this chapter. I don't see a safe haven. Oh, there's one. Kind of spawned on top of me. Alright. I already investigated this area earlier in the level. I don't want to get it again.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
Not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me?
Yes, I get you.
So that's where the terms are now. He wants the manuscript, and he'll trade Alice for him.
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
The darkness. Alright, we got some more flare gun ammo. This will be useful. Trust me. Go out near the back.
Al, I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
All right. Oh, Barry, don't worry. I'll keep you safe. I think I got most of them. Oh. I think about half of them.
Barry, you can open the door now. They're gone.
Okay, we got him.
Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
We did it, guys.
I sent Barry to the
We
town
saved
to
Barry.
ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
He can't write. There's something in this. He's got a complete block.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
I know.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the
Oh Dear Diner.
Good girl.
Uh-oh. Yeah. So, that's where we're leaving off for today. That was Chapter 2 for Alan Wake on the Xbox 360. A couple of announcements I wanted to make. I heard that there's actually a game called Phantom Dust that's coming out for Xbox One and Windows 10 today. It's free to download. It does support Xbox Play Anywhere service. I have not played. I heard it's a port of a original Xbox game that came out back during the heyday of Xbox Live. So we're going to be checking that out.
Alan Wake. Alice has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her.
You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So
dark. I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Good girl.
I do like how they did end up, going with an
How the hell
episodic
did
kind
she
of
get
look
her
to
hands
it.
on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you you were too hard on her. Listen, I found out all sorts of interesting stuff while I was digging around.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent Nightingale.
FBI?
He's anxious to see you. You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over, Sheriff. Let's make this quick, huh?
Help you folks?
All right,
Name's
that's a good
Randolph.
place to stop
I'm
for
the
today.
manager.
We're looking for Rose.
All right, so that is it. That is episode 2 of Alan Wake in its entirety. We will resume later this week. We will resume Alan Wake. I've got a lot of requests to do Uncharted 4, and I've got a lot of requests to resume Final Fantasy X. Right now, I'm kind of holding off on Final Fantasy X because there's a lot of side stories and stuff like that I want to kind of get to, particularly when it comes to the weapons. I want to get those special weapons. And I don't want to bore you guys with my attempts to get them. But, yeah, so there's that. Other stuff, Alan Wake is, I know Alan Wake, I also heard people saying, well, where is it that I'm going to be streaming from, and how am I going to be streaming, and things like that. So for those of you who want to see the streams live, at least for my Alan Wake streams, then you can go to beam.pro/maniac536. That's my channel. That's where I'm streaming from. I usually stream sometime around 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, yeah, so if you want to catch my live streams, we will be resuming Alan Wake to its end. And because, obviously this game is not going to be available on the isn't available on the Xbox Marketplace or Steam anymore. So get it while you can. So we'll talk more about this later. I got more to tell about who is this Agent Nightingale, what's his story. If you ever wanted to hear all this stuff about Alan Wake, this is the perfect Let's Play for you to watch. So until next time, guys, my name is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Take care, all right? Over and out.